G'day guys, ZiggyD here and welcome back to day 3 for ZiggyD Trades in Breach. I've had a pretty good day today. It was a bit of a shorter one, I only did like 5.5 hours or so, but still a very productive one and still a very profitable one. Quite juicy. So, I think I'm going to start a bit of a tradition here of talking about my failures and mistakes at the start of the video for you guys, so I can look like a terrible trader and you guys all stop the video and press the little X button. So, in yesterday's video, you may recall me mentioning that I sold a jewel for 32 cows called the Primordial Might that was hyped up due to some Golem Manta action. Well, you may recall me also saying that I sold it for 32C because there's no way the price on this is going back up. It's going to come down for sure because demand for these sort of things is not going to be that high and the supply will outstrip it and there's going to be more. Not many people are going to play Necromancers and, well, let's take a look at exactly how that panned out. 90 chaos. 90 chaos. I think they even spiked a little higher than this briefly. So, yeah, I could have made 3 times the profit on that. I did not expect this. So, I botched it. I botched it, guys. What can I say? You live and you learn, but I don't know what lesson to take from this in particular, apart from sometimes you're going to sell something and it's going to end up being worth a lot more the next week. You know, I think that's a pretty good lesson, actually. Just to try and learn to accept this and realize that you still made money and whatever. So that's gonna happen quite a lot, right? You're gonna sell a unique, and then the next day a hot fix is gonna come out, changing it, and the prices are gonna go crazy. It's gonna happen a lot when you're trading, and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You're gonna sell 1x rings for 1 chaos. You're gonna do this a lot. It's important as a trader to learn to accept this, to learn from it where you can, and to move on and to continue trading. So that was the big blunder of the day, but I don't really know what I could have done. I feel like I couldn't have predicted this one. So a little something else happened as well. This is kind of a bit of a blunder again, but I still made a profit. But still a bit of a mistake. Same thing that I did yesterday. So you may recall me mentioning that Witchfires were kind of hanging around the 20-ish chaos after spiking up and then coming back down. Really weird. Very weird how it spiked up so high and then came back down. So there was one listed for 17C, so I bought that because I thought 20C was even low and that they're probably going to go up. Wasn't really willing to invest in a bunch of 20 chaos ones, but the 17C was a good buy because at worst I might be able to resell it and make 20 chaos or 19 chaos for it. I ended up listing it up for 24 chaos and resold it for that in just a couple of hours. And then now we're looking at 40 to actually 40. Probably more like 40 to 45 cows. So I did the same thing. I jumped off that a little bit too early and didn't quite end up making as much profit as I could have. Guess I should have predicted this, but I think this is, well, no, I probably should have predicted this because this is higher than I think Witchfires have been priced in previous leagues in softcore. But with all the Blade Flurry hype, people playing Assassins, which are bleed poison physical damage, it makes sense that they would get more expensive. So yeah, I kind of stepped off a little too early again. I get excited, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make 7 chaos, and I'm like, yeah, sell it. And then rather than being patient, so I'm gonna have to try and learn to be patient. So now that I've made myself look like a terrible trader, and you guys have all clicked the X button, for anyone who has remained, let's talk about what I've been doing. So today's goal was to focus on getting my character ready and prepared and geared up to do Breach Lord maps somewhat reliably. And I started doing Breach Lord maps in the last couple of hours of the day, and they're looking like they're going to be pretty profitable. I did 3 runs this afternoon, and on 2 of those runs I got a blessing, and I also got a touch of anguish that if you scroll up here, you can see that I just sold for 18 chaos. So not too bad. It was a badly rolled one. They go for like 20-ish chaos, but mine was really badly rolled. So I ended up selling that for 18 chaos. Now the Breachstone maps themselves, you can get for between like 6 and 10 chaos in splinters. The more expensive one being Esh, because the amulet, the lightning amulet that the Esh breach gives you, is very hyped and very expensive. So people are looking to get that and upgrade it. But all of them seem pretty profitable, and I've been able to get, you know, the Breachstone maps for those for like 6 to 7 chaos for these guys. I can't do Tool yet. That boss is messed up, man. So I'm gonna wait on doing that one a little bit and focus on the other 2 guys for now. But that boss is crazy hard, It'll be profitable once I can do it because very few other people are going to be able to do it because it's so hard. But focus on these guys for now, and we'll see over the next few days how that develops and how profitable that ends up being. So now, let's bring up my trades and we'll go through what I've done. So you may notice I'm rocking a 6 link now, so what happened to my old 5 link? Well, I sold it for 2 chaos. A weird thing happened though, I got a bajillion messages. Usually this is an indicator that you've underpriced something, but I thought, 2 chaos for a 5 link? Can't you get one for one chaos? Yeah, well you can. I don't think this highlights a good lesson. People are searching for life. If you have a 5 link, and what people are doing, they're setting up live searches on poe.trade for 5 links with over 60 life. So once I had put mine down for 2C, they're like, oh, that's the cheapest one right there. So they buy that up. So yeah, I could have probably like repriced that or something, but I was just happy to take the 2C. But it does go to show that if you have something like a 5 link, then just craft some life on it. Use like a tier 4 Essence of Greed. They're not really worth much, and what's that, like an alk or something? And then and then get that sale, because you're actually going to struggle to sell a 1 chaos 5 link. Why not get like a really fast 2 chaos sale instead for the cost of a tier 4 Essence of Greed? I think that's worth it. Next up is a ring that I derped and cut off the amount of chaos, but it's 9 chaos, so you just have to believe me. I mean, this is a pretty nice ring. This is one of my old breach rings. I can't remember if I bought or found this. I couldn't find a log of it in my previous days, so I probably found this one. Let me know if you saw it in one of my previous videos, but life and cast speed and mana and some resistances, can't complain. So 9 chaos for that is, I think, a pretty fair price. I think I priced that pretty much spot on, so got a sale for that after like a couple of hours. I think that's a good indicator. If you put something up and then in a couple of hours it sells, then it was a pretty fair price, right? It's not an overly good price because you didn't get spammed with a billion messages at the same time. Here is a Blade Flurry amulet. Yep, that's a Blade Flurry amulet, all right. I sold that for 15 chaos equivalent. So I found this with fizz damage, crit chance, crit multiple, evasion, and resist, and I mastercrafted some life on it just to help it show up in search results, right? The guy who I sold this to complained that I didn't put the 4 chaos life on it, but from my perspective and from the perspective of a trader, there's not much reason for you to do that. Because I sold this for 15 chaos. If I'd put 4 chaos worth of life on it, would I have sold it for 19 or 20 chaos? No. I probably might have got like 15 or 16 chaos still. So it would have just eaten into my profits, whereas 10 ults for 30-ish life, that doesn't really eat into your profit so much, but it still helps it show up in search results for crit chance, crit multi, fizz damage with life amulets, right? Yeah. So I ended up getting 15 cows for that pretty quickly, actually. I think that sold very quickly. And it also just goes to show, just keep an eye on those, what things are popular, right? This would normally sell for a good amount, but it sold really quickly and for probably a bit more than it would have in the past due to all the people playing crit Blade Flurry builds. And also, this is just such a sexy grouping of stats, right? Yeah? Think about all the people playing Assassin and Raider Blade Flurry, and we got Fizz and crit and Evasion. I love it. So good. Next up, we have a ring that I bought for myself that I'm now using for 3 chaos. I bought this ring for 3 chaos. Now, this, I think, is a good chance for me to teach. So the guy who sold this to me, right, he sold a really nice ring that is probably worth like 15 chaos for 3 chaos. Now, he learns a bit of a lesson, potentially, but it also gives you a chance for a lot of you guys to learn that same lesson, right, through this video. And that's kind of why I'm making this here, is that the idea behind breach rings is to identify the stats that are valuable when they're doubled. And in this case, we're looking at fire damage and life. Now, I think 3 chaos was a bit low even for a non-breach ring here, but a breach ring with fire damage and chaos and life, a decent fire and life roll, doubling, that gets even much more valuable. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I'll get into that a bit more because we have some other breach rings, but this is just such a nice ring for 3 chaos, so just a great bargain. And again, a testament to that live search of whoop action, because I had the live search up for fire damage or cast speed, over 60 life with resistance rings, breach rings specifically, looking for breach rings as I'm a breach farmer. And when this appeared, I knew it instantly. We needed to buy that. So here's another one I bought for 4 chaos, similar sort of deal just there. Life and fire damage, resistances. This also highlights another great stat for breach rings, rarity, because that doubling, 26 rarity, 120 life, and 22 fire damage inside a breach. Very nice. So next up we have my 6 link that I purchased today. So I had a live search running on 6 links for quite a long time, basically since yesterday morning. And I was just keeping an eye on the prices, right? They were sitting like 80, 70 chaos-ish. Sometimes you get one for like 60 chaos. And I did put in an offer on a corrupted 6-link. And that's a great way to get cheap 6-links, by the way. Go to poe.trade, type in the exact socket colors you need, and select corrupted from the drop-down box. And chances are you might be able to get a corrupted 6-link pretty cheap, like 20, 30 chaos, with some life and resists on it, or just some random stats on it that is better than a tabula rasa. So that's a great thing to keep an eye out for. Didn't quite get the offer I put in, but I was glad because not long after this went up for 1 exalt, which is about 50 chaos at the moment, and I picked that up because I could craft that and make that into a pretty decent 6-link. So what I ended up doing with that was turning it into this one. I grabbed a Screaming Essence of Greed, 2 chaos, and used that. I got life, strength, and mana. So good for me. So that's like perfect rolls for me, basically. Very, very happy with that. I ended up crafting some lightning resist on that as well. So very nice for 1 exalt and 2 chaos. That is a very nice 6-link. Super happy with that because I easily could have paid like 90 chaos if I had not been patient, right? If I had not waited. I was fine with a 5-link. I didn't need to get a 6-link straight away. But once I saw the opportunity for a sick bargain on a 6-link, I knew I had to take it. Just a couple of other little trades. Consuming Dark sold for 20 chaos. Kind of surprising, but I think a lot of Essence Drain builds are using this for poison. Some good gloves here. That's a good example for master crafting. Lightning damage or physical damage and attack speed on gloves are great, and 2 decent resists. If I had listed this without crafting life on this, it would not have sold. So I put like 10 alterations worth of life on it using Haku, and then it sold for 2 chaos very quickly. So this would never sell because no one would ever search for these stats without life. People are always searching for life. So just a good example of how you can turn an unsellable item into a sellable item, and in the end I made like a chaos and a bit profit, so can't complain with that. Queen's Vaults, definitely keep those prophecies filled up because you will get some good ones, and I sold that for 6 chaos. Now finally we have a very fun story of an amulet. This is the Saga of Carrion Locket. So I found this thing and instantly I was like, oh, this is very nice. Dexterity and Intelligence, percentage ES, and flat ES with some rarity. Very nice. Percentage ES, flat ES. Now, this is for a CI character. Dexterity is great for CI characters because they struggle to get the dexterity they need for things like temporal chains. And Intelligence is also great because that's more energy shield. So those 2 stats are great on a CI amulet like this. Now, I thought, this is a pretty good amulet. I could probably sell this for like 10 chaos. But I thought, what if I get +1 curse on it? Mana regen's not very useful for those builds. So I thought, I'm willing to gamble the 10 chaos here and potentially get +1 curse and sell it for many exalts. So I valed it, and well, I didn't get +1 curse, but I guess I bricked it. That's a shame. Wait a minute. What is going on here? This is like the same amulet, isn't it? No, not quite. So we dropped the int, we gained dexterity, we traded the int for a resistance. Okay. And we gained a massive amount of rarity. We lost a little bit of flat ES, but we still kept the percentage ES. This is so weird to like brick an amulet into something that's actually better. This is actually better. And well, shortly after I sold it for 15 chaos. So, valing is a gamble. Yes, you can brick items, but sometimes your brick might just end up being better than your amulet was beforehand. So a pretty good day, full of pleasing social trade interactions, and I hope you guys go out and have many of those as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching. I don't think that's how my outro is supposed to go. Bye-bye.